in any way, they say no.
It's time for the financial test. The subjects are directed to make a series of financial choices. Then, they are asked how much they would pay for a consumer product, in this case, a water bottle. Learner compares their choices to those of a group not shown in the SAD video.
Here's an example of a subject in the neutral condition, and this subject is telling us that they would like to buy it at $2.50. And that contrasts with here, we have data from a subject who's in the SAD condition, and this subject is willing to pay $10 to obtain the water bottle. And that is very representative of what we see. You get this increased valuation when you're sad.
If sadness can lead people to pay 4 times more for a water bottle, what happens when the stakes are higher?
The experiments have been done with high stakes money, $1,000, etc. And what we find is that these results scale up, even when you use big money.
If emotions influence prices on the individual level, what about markets and the larger economy? According to rational economics, these are driven by individual self-interest. But for Robert Shiller, this ignores something obvious.
Humans are empathetic animals, uniquely empathetic. We're not just communicating ideas, we're communicating emotions. That's what empathy means. It's different from sympathy. It's that I am feeling the same. I know what you're experiencing because it's in my body too, the same feeling that you have.
There's a hot real estate market in many parts of the
If Shiller is right, could empathy explain how the hyper-optimism of the housing market jumps like a social contagion to the financial markets?
The real estate market has grown to new heights and new prices.
Among professional traders, the idea that moods flow through markets is taken for granted.
The market is an aggregation of what thousands of people think the future is going to be like. And if these people are optimistic about the future, the market goes up. And if people are pessimistic about the future, the market goes down. But at the end of the day, the question the market answers is, are people optimistic or are they pessimistic? And that's a psychological question. Emotion still drives the markets.
They're saying that the bubble will not burst.
For rationalists, emotions are not a satisfactory explanation for how markets work.
The observation that people feel emotions means nothing. And if you're going to just say, oh, markets went up because there was a wave of emotion, you got nothing. That doesn't tell us anything about what circumstances are likely to make markets go. Now that would not be a scientific theory.
The rationalist's conviction is based on the mathematical model they use to understand the financial markets. It's called the efficient markets hypothesis, and it says that financial markets act essentially like a giant calculating machine, efficiently processing all relevant information faster than any individual could. So if some traders are emotional, it doesn't matter.
Efficient markets can exist side by side with irrational behavior as long as you have enough rational people to bring prices in line.
In the efficient markets model, the financial markets themselves are rational, and prices at any moment in time cannot be wrong.